Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. What do you think about that there, Pinewood? I've been practicing my recorder.
Well, I think that America's top talent, I don't think they're going to be calling you.
Oh, well, I guess in that case, just kick it.
Well, good afternoon, my internet beauties. All of you wonderful lads and lasses out there. Man, we're excited. Welcome to Fraternize with These Guys. I'm your host, the good, the noble, the honorable Pastor Pinewood. And joining me via our Discord channel, our resident heathen in chief. That's your cue, bro.
Easy.
We got to work on the timing of this stuff.
I'm telling you, man.
I thought it was good, though.
How's about this doing everything over Discord, though, man? Kind of liking this.
Yeah. Well, before we get to why that is, how long did it take you to master the recording skills there?
Do you want a full disclosure?
Well, sure.
Or an honest answer?
Maybe. I mean, you're kind of the heathen, so honesty is not exactly your strong point.
Well, then it took me about 16 years.
I thought you were going way less than that.
No.
I thought you were going to be like, I broke this thing right out of the packaging and bam, I could play the intro music. Kinda.
Literally, it took me about 3 seconds to figure out what key I was going to do it in, so I could figure out how high and low I could get. So
well, apparently, you didn't do it right because you couldn't go low enough.
I don't think a recorder has the capabilities of going that low.
Well, you just got to start higher, bro.
Well, I've only been playing it for like 16 something years, so I can't be for certain. So that it can go higher or lower.
I see. So you're not quite as talented on the recorder as you are on the trumpet.
Yes.
And maybe
exactly.
by talent, what I should say is you're not quite proficient because the talent's there.
Oh, I got it pouring out of me, literally.
Well, if old Beezy sounds a little bit different than normal, that's because we are coming at you kind of split. So Beezy is still in the doghouse, and I'm not.
I'm in the doghouse.
And what we decided to do was instead of doing kind of a call-in thing, we would try out the feature on Discord, and I'm really digging it.
I mean, it seems to be working really good, and I think what we're gonna try and do the next time this situation arises is we'll try it with video because Discord does have the option to do video too. So
nice.
Being that we're not able to be in the same studio, we might try that on the next go around. This is kind of a rush job. So
yeah. We're just trying
to make ends meet.
So we've done this once before and it doesn't sound as good, of course, but I thought the episode we did when you phoned in was pretty good.
Well, that was also the winter apocalypse.
I know it was rough.
we didn't have the option to meet up.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember I had 2 heaters going in my. Oh, by the way, I'm recording from the farm.
The barn at the farm.
And I thought I'd let you know because it's springtime and as it warms, they get a little more active. I'm recording with my worms, my several bins full of worms here at the farm.
The what?
Yeah, my worms. So I have composting worms, and I feed them as it gets warmer, and then I sell their poop.
Like night crawlers?
I have a few night crawlers, and I usually fish with those, but I was
about to say, it sounds like all you're doing is just getting an unlimited supply of fishing bait.
Well, I do have that, and you can keep your own fishing bait in stock all the time, just with the scraps that come out of your kitchen. So it's a win-win.
Huh.
And they reproduce like every 3 months or so. They double their colony size.
Or you just cut them in half and you got doubles.
Well, I guess that's a good point.
Because worms do that, right?
Yeah, I think if you start cutting them in half, it kind of reduces their ability to eat so much, and you really want them to eat a lot. That's the whole point.
Well, I mean, look at it this way: if you cut them in half, you get 100 worms. You cut 100 worms in half. Now you got 200 worms that are really hungry because they're missing their other half.
I don't think that's the way biologically that it works.
I don't know. I'm going to have to get a hold of my people to figure that one out.
All right,
because it makes sense in my head.
Well, send it up the chain. See what they say about it.
Sure thing. I'll get on that tomorrow, or I'll do what I tell my wife this all the time. I'll get to that on Saturday.
Oh, nice. Saturday never comes.
Yeah, it never happens to show up.
Yeah.
So, but no, we are away. We actually had a rather busy week for both of us, so we kind of had to do the remote recording this go around. It's going to be a little bit shorter of an episode, but we did hook you up last week or on Sunday with the bonus episode.
The bonus episode. And something else to remember and consider, we don't want to miss a week. And so sometimes stuff's going to happen. We're both busy anyway on top of everything, and we still want to bring an episode to you guys. So this is just the way that we're going to be able to get that done. And thankfully, we have the availability and the option to do that.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think it's pretty cool that we can just kind of put all this together and do it 150 miles away from each other.
Do it to it, laws.
Now
you're supposed to report with "Be my pleasure, Tony."
See, I don't know. I'm out of the loop on that one.
Oh man, it's an old SNL skit.
I know the skit, but I wasn't familiar with the response.
Well, anyways. So we had in the bonus episode, we had a pretty interesting turn of events. If you guys haven't listened to that episode yet, you definitely need to check it out. It was a doozy, and one that had a outcome that neither of us really expected.
Correct.
We had that Cocoa Cocktails not only won both the divisions, the Berry Seltzer League and the Citrus Seltzer League.
Look at you. You said that a lot faster than I can say that. I still can't say it very fast.
I know. It's because I've had a couple drinks. Well, what can I say? I'm better when I'm not sober. But we had they did the Berry Seltzer League and the Citrus Seltzer League. Oh, now you made me screw it up.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you. You put that bad juju on me.
That's what you get.
Anyway, so not only did they win the divisions, but they had to have a face-off, and it literally came down to paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
So, yeah, it was. It was ridiculous. But to go even further, the CEO of Cocoa Cocktails reached out to me and said, man, he knew that they were going to crush it, and he sent me 3 cases of Cocoa Cocktail. So, you know how we've got our wonderful little palate cleanser beers that we usually have?
Yeah, of course.
Today, my palate cleanser is the pomegranate berry, which should have been the true victor.
Yeah, you're really partial to that one.
I certainly was. I love it.
Well, that's good stuff. So he reached out to you?
He did, and he's a super cool guy. And the Cocoa Cocktail, man, they seem to be getting their ducks in a row to overtake that. What did you say it was supposed to be? They're predicting like a $3 billion market this year for seltzer drinks.
Yes, in 1 year.
Yeah, so I think they're probably going to be at the tip top of the big. So get your hands on some of that stuff. There's a free little plug for them right there.
Well, I'll tell you, I like I said multiple times in the episode, in the bonus episode, it's not my thing at all. I didn't go in expecting any of them to be even good. I was surprised by a couple of them, but those two just, part and parcel above everybody else.
part and parcel.
I think that's a phrase. I'm not 100% sure. How about heads and shoulders? Heads and shoulders above everybody else.
I don't even want you to say heads and shoulders because that just reminds me of heads, shoulders, knees, and toes. And I've heard that so many freaking times because of my baby.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks. Now I'm going to have that stuck in my head all night.
Nice. All right. Well, I tell you what, to help soothe you as you listen to your baby music, how about we do a little bit of Libations Library?
Let's do it to it, Lars.
Libations! Well, that's a beautiful sound, sir.
Well, I got to say, I am sorely vexed because I didn't get to have the full enjoyment of listening to that because there's a little bit of an audio lag and timeout whenever you play that.
Well, you're just gonna have to deal with it. Just know that I listened to it and I was moved.
Moved, eh?
Yeah, much more than your recording skills.
Well, I think I'm going to re-record it with me doing the recorder.
Just the recorder?
And then I'll dub in my audio after the fact.
It'd be funny if from now on all of our segment music had Beezy playing the recorder.
I tell you what would be even better. What we need to do is send out all of our fans, or I guess listeners and fans, we should find a meeting place, and I want to show up with an army of recorders, and we all record that music as the choir, just played over our recorders, and then I'll live action do that on the spot.
I have a thought. We can meld this into something really special. We could do a Fraternize with These Guys fly fishing trip. And while we're up on the mountain with everybody who goes, and it's only $3,500 for a 3-day trip, so get your checkbooks out. While we're up there, you could get your recorders in your waders, be in the river, and record it right then and there.
Dude, I mean, you aren't saying anything that is dissuading me from this.
I'm loving it. I think it's a great idea. Why don't you introduce our beer for the day?
Okay. Well, what we have got today is coming, and they're probably going to hate me because this looks French, and I don't speak French. But this is Deschutes.
I'm going to go pretty firmly with Deschutes.
Deschutes.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go with Deschutes Brewery, and it is the Black Butte Porter. And every time I see that, I want to call it the Black Butt Porter.
Well, I mean, I was really surprised that you didn't say butt. Like,
Well, you and me both. It took everything in my willpower not to. I mean, I'm staring at this, and this is Black Butt Porter. But anyways, the Brewery's Black Butt Porter. This is Deschutes Brewery is in Bend, Oregon.
Nice.
I don't think we've had anything from Oregon yet.
If we have, I can't think of it right off the top of my head. But
anyhow, this is the IBUs are in the 30, and it's got an ABV of 5.5. On the bottle, it says soft, breezy, sturdy roots, surprising balance, savor a smooth and unexpectedly complex porter that has stood the test of time.
Beautiful. Well, are you ready to sample this bad boy?
I am. I got my trusty bottle opener right next to me, so hit the music.
All right, my friend. Let's do it to it.
But listen closely. Not for very much longer. I've got to keep control.
Time Warp?
Yep, but it's Time Warp by Jack Black.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, Good stuff. All right, so good beer.
Yeah, this actually is kind of a throwback for me. This was one of the very first porters that I can actually remember drinking.
Really?
It was right when I started getting into my stouts kick, and came across this beauty. And this is the old this this black beauty
Nice.
instead of a butte. Yeah, man, I'm killing myself over here. I love it. Anyways, I came across this beauty, and it was the only porter that the beer store I would go to regularly actually carried. So, man, I've had my fair share of these puppies.
Nice. Well, I also remember this from many years of indulging in porters because, like you, it was one of my first kind of venturing out into the world of craft beer was porters. So I've had this multiple times as well. And not only that, I like it so much that in anticipation of cracking this open and taking a little swig, I am also smoking a dark Maduro cigar because they pair very, very well.
Beauty.
Yeah.
I love it.
So anything's coming to mind whenever you taste this beverage?
You know, it has been quite a while since I've had this, and I'm sad because I haven't picked it up in a while. Because this is actually rather tasty, and it is kind of low on the ABV.
Yep.
I'm used to stouter drinks, basically, but this has a very interesting flavor. It definitely has more of a kick, like you would think that it actually is in that 8%.
Yeah, agreed.
Definitely, you get caramel notes for sure. I'm trying to think, man. This is it's a good beer. It is a very good beer.
Well, I love the fact that it's very well balanced. There's nothing that really that sticks out a whole bunch. I definitely get the sweetness, and maybe if I couldn't say caramel, I would definitely say more of a molasses coffee taste. It's got that sweet aroma to it.
Okay.
It smells like that, and
Slight bitterness.
there
to
is a touch of bitterness, but not much. The hops are very modest. If they have hops, I know they have hops in it, but it's modest. And
sure.
I think it's underrated. If you kind of look at it online, a lot of people put it in that 75 to 80 ranking. But for drinkability, for price, and for overall taste, I think it's really good.
Yeah, because I think a 6-pack is going to be like $10, something like that. It's not
very reasonable.
Not overly pricey at all.
Yeah, and I do like the fact, now I know this kind of goes against the porters and the stouts. I do like the fact that it's not 9, 10, 12% alcohol. I like the fact that it's a little bit less, and you could have it on your porch in the evening with a cigar and not have to, be careful standing up whenever you go to go back inside. It's very good.
You're just not seasoned enough, I guess.
I guess not. The mouth feels very good. It's smooth. There's a touch of thickness, but for the most part, it drinks like a bolder ale, not so much like a stout. So I really like it. I'm gonna give it an 86.
You know what is funny is I actually, being that I'm at the house and I'm able to use my computer, I already put you in for an 87.
Pretty close.
So I figured that's where you're going to go.
Yep,
so I know your
close.
taste, son.
You got me, bro. You got me.
And I have to agree. It is a very, very good porter, and one that I will be picking up again more frequently because I just completely forgot about it, and I forgot how good this beer was. I think I'm going to give this guy a 82.
Okay, all right, a little bit less. So what takes some points off for you?
Well, being only 5.5% ABV is one, and if I'm gonna drink something this heavy, then I want it to kick back a little bit.
Okay. All right. So what you're saying is you want to be able to drink 6 of them in a row and actually get a buzz.
Feel something. Yeah.
That would be your primary motivation.
This I'm going to have to drink like 2 6-packs.
Well, I will say I usually just have the one that we have, but I'll probably have 2 just because I've got to finish the cigar, and that usually takes a beer and a half, 2 beers.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm going to have my I'll polish this guy off pretty quick, and then I'm going to kill some pomegranate berry.
Oh wow, you're going right into that cocoa, huh?
That's right, man.
Beauty.
This thing is so ridiculously good.
Beauty. I'll tell you what. Let's get out of libations and let's go right into our 4 questions.
Do it.
4 questions. Now today I have a little bit of I got a little bit of twist on 4 questions. Instead of the usual format, I have 4 questions where we just take some questions and we answer them. What we're going to do is we're going to switch things around and we're going to ask some questions of our listeners.
Yes.
So we're going to reach out to you, all you beloved OGs that have been there from the beginning, that continue to listen to us. We really appreciate it. It literally means so much more than you know that you take the time to do that. And we're going to challenge you to give us some feedback on some questions. Now, this is a weird episode because we're virtual and it's not quite the same and the energy's not there. So instead of trying to overcome that with being ridiculously funny, which I think we fall short of that sometimes, but maybe we can still be humorous at times. We're going to ask some questions about some things that we got coming up, and then we want you guys to send us voicemails or emails, Facebook messages, whatever. Let us know what you think. We really want to build what we're doing around what you guys want us to do. And not that y'all dictate everything all the time, but we do feel that we owe it to at least hear maybe your opinion. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree 100%. And that's one of the things that when we were conceptualizing this whole podcast years ago, we really wanted to do, and I believe we've even talked about this in an episode or 2, but we wanted to build a community and we want to ask questions that you get different perspectives on. A lot of the times the pastor is going to have his, what is the term?
Outlook?
The pastoral answer, I guess?
Yeah, pastoral opinion, pastoral outlook. Pastoral expertise, if you will.
No, I wouldn't go that far. But you'll get that side of an answer, and then you'll get the heathenist side of it coming from me, somebody that isn't a pastor. I mean, I gave that up many, many years ago, but
yeah, you have far since removed yourself from the pastoral side of things.
Yeah, I threw my schmuck down.
You did. And you know what's great about it is, no, we don't wear schmucks. And what's wonderful about it is it takes all kinds, right? It takes
2, baby.
The reason I believe that I think one of the reasons that we're well-rounded, that we have a good group of friends around us that kind of have similar ideas and senses of humor, is because we're open to different points of view. And we're not so hard-nosed about things that we can't come together and at the very, very least have a conversation about things.
Agreed. Yeah, we've had many times in episodes where we just strongly differ in opinion.
Yep.
But at the end of it, we're still able to sit down and drink libations and discuss why you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And, when we think the other one's wrong, we're not going to dox them or, unfriend them on Facebook and not talk to them ever again. You just keep grilling at that point, and you agree to disagree, and then have you a banger steak at the end of it.
Ask to speak to the manager.
Well, the first question that we have is one that we've actually had some questions about already, but we really want to do We want to do a Patreon account, so a leveled account where somebody kind of pays a monthly fee to get into the club, I guess you would. And my main question is
subscription-based service.
Correct. And my main question is, what is something that we can offer that would be of value to people? Is it an extra podcast? Is it a video chat? Is it something on a monthly basis where we sit around and play video games with each other? I'm just curious where the selling point in that is. I know that I fail in this on a regular basis, and I've been criticized for this in the past. I don't promote myself well. Even when I do things that I think are good and that provide quality, like my worm poop, for instance. It's a good quality product, but I don't charge enough for it because...
that's some quality shit right there.
It is some quality worm droppings. And I don't charge enough for it because, I don't believe in myself and I have self-deprecation issues. And so I have a hard time with that kind of self-promotion. And so sometimes I feel like I don't bring anything to the table that somebody would dare want to pay for. But we've already had people reaching out to us. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, I've got several people that have reached out to me. It just private messaged me on Facebook asking, "Hey, what's your Patreon, man? I've already looked for it and I can't find it." And I mean, it's still in the works. It is definitely something that's in the works. We're kind of thinking about structuring it to where you would have like a $3 a month, and that's just hey, you guys keep crushing it, and then we'll do maybe a $5 a month, and then if we're able to get enough $5 a month subscribers, then we can do something like a bonus episode a week, or like you were saying, where we could all jump into Discord and just have a video chat, or just we could have our own private questions that we ask and get feedback from in the Discord or something like that. And granted, this is all up for discussion, and we want your feedback.
Yeah, it'd be most helpful.
And then we most definitely are going to have the $20 a month subscription fee, so that way you can guarantee your spot on the live ship.
I mean, you got to save yourself from the lizards. and the only way to truly save yourself from the lizards is to get you a spot on the pastoral life ship. That's really the only way to do that. Exactly.
And I already found a nice spot where I'm going to stow away.
Oh, nice.
Because I'm not
just
paying
hiding?
you $20. Well, I'm small enough and funny enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Maybe you could just pay the $20 and actually be out and engage with people in the life ship.
I mean, I could.
Do you remember that little lizard in Jurassic Park that has little frill things around his neck and then spits crap at you? I have some of those that I've hired. What did you call them?
It's called a Dilophosaurus.
Are you making that up?
No, I'm 1,000% positive, dude.
Okay,
well, I've been in archaeology for 92 years.
Well, I have some Dilophosaurus, and I've convinced them to go against their lizard leaders, and they're on the life ship with me because they believe in my cause, and they'll sniff you out and spit ink in your face.
Joke's on you, because we spared no expense, and I have dino DNA, so I can talk to them. Plus, I'll see them coming because I'm going to have my handy-dandy rear view stuck on my helmet.
So what you're saying is you're going to turn the double agent Dilapa whatevers into triple agents that work for you.
Exactly.
Wow, that's cold-blooded, which is interesting because
if you're not in the game, you're not in the game.
The lizards also have cold blood. Right up your alley, bro. So that is that's our first question. What would you guys feel needs to be included in the Patreon if and when we do that? Definitely send us some information on that. I tell you what, the best thing to do: take all the questions that we have and record one voicemail for us on our website.
Like all of the questions?
Yeah, take all the things that we're going to bring up and we want you to give us your opinion on all of those things in a voicemail. And if you could keep it to about 12 seconds, that'd be great.
You're going to have to keep it in 120 seconds or 180 seconds, I think. I can't remember how long it is. It's either 2 minutes or 3 minutes that you get for the link before it says, You should have said Jurassic Park, man. Now it's going to be stuck in my head.
Yep. Hold on to your butts.
Good news is you got that stupid song kicked out of my head. So there is that.
That's pretty good. All right, so number one, Patreon. We're going to roll right into our second question, and it's a big one. It's a question that we've had from the very beginning that we've brought up a couple of times, and that is, in our flagship, the libations segment, should we include other things beside beer?
Now, granted, we've done two, because we did two meads, which you said technically are not
correct
beers.
That's right.
That's why they have the Barry Bonds asterisk next to them on the website.
That's right. They've been doing a little of them roids, them beer roids.
Yes, yeah, and they certainly have, because they're heavy duty.
They are heavy duty. You know what? I miss that. I need to go find me a mead.
Bro, you're right down the street from that place.
I know. Good beverages.
I need you to pick me up some the next time next week, whenever you come for the recording. You
want to just plan on doing a mead next week?
Let's do a mead next week.
All right, I'll pick one up. Done deal.
You know what I mean?
I know. But the question initially was other things such as wine and especially liquors. So scotch, bourbon, whiskey, those type things. Because I'm not much on wine. I do like certain wines, and I'm as dry as you can get them. That's kind of my wheelhouse.
Grody.
Go figure. But the whiskeys and the scotches, I feel like we're well-rounded enough. We could probably have a good handful of those scattered throughout and be okay.
Sure. Yeah. And like we've discussed previously, it is called Libations Library.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily tie us down to beer. If we were to venture into other realms, what would be some things that you would like us to put in the libations? And we could even do, like mixed drinks.
I hadn't thought about that. That's a good point.
Like something with a whiskey and a mixer or something like that, like an old fashioned.
I do like me some old fashions. I really do.
I really feel like we should do a Jaeger bomb.
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass on the Jaeger bomb. There's a lot of BC days that I don't remember because of Jaeger bombs.
Oh, Jägermeister, yeah, buddy. And at the end of these questions, we'll let you know where you can reach out. But like Facebook, of course, our email, theseguysquestions@gmail.com, and the easiest thing is our website, fwtgpodcast.com. And we're going to plug it a few more times throughout this episode, but we'll hit it pretty hard at the end.
All right. So question number one, Patreon. Question number two, other spirits besides beer. And if so, what would we do? And third is merch. I'm super excited about the merch that we already have. And I don't know where you are with it, but I'm kind of at a loss about how to go forward. I don't want to just inundate like this huge store with a bunch of crap that nobody wants.
Sure. Well, mainly because we have to buy the merch and sit on the merch if we can't get it sold out. So it's a hefty cost for us up front, which, we're not making excuses. That's definitely something that is done and will be done.
Sure.
But like as of right now on the website, I'm at the website. We've got the merch coming soon. We've got the hashtag Plumpable t-shirts.
Love it.
For $24. And then I came up some pretty amazing little descriptions on here. I see the hashtag Puntable T-shirt is the original tee. This is the very first shirt designed by the FWTG team. Each shirt has been personally hand-sewn by Beezy, that's me.
Nice.
Thread by thread until the full shirt was crafted. I have been doing building shirts for 58 years.
Nice. So they should be really good quality.
Oh, they are of the highest quality. Then they are emblazoned with the iconic and trademark hashtag Puntable on the front, fraternized with these guys stamp on the back and the QR code on the right sleeve. Then we've also got the koozies. It's 100% guaranteed to never be in the possession of Pinewood's hands if you swoop it up.
Dang it. What the heck, man? What is going on with the koozie war, man?
Well, I haven't got mine, so you're not getting yours.
The koozie battle, it just goes on and on.
It does. It is perfect for keeping your beverage cool while listening to Libations Library. You can customize yours for an extra $1. I mean, it's only $1. Look how much more you get. And it is made with the elastic bands from all the underwear that I don't wear.
Gross.
And those are $8.
Nice.
$9 if you want it customized.
All right.
T-shirts are $24, and we have got a very limited amount of Fraternize with These Guys beer steins. I think we've actually got 3 left.
Yeah, those kind of they got sold pretty quick.
Yeah, they were a hot commodity.
And they're awesome, by the way. I had mine out. I was working in the garden the last couple of days. I had mine with just some water. I put no ice in it, just kind of cool water out of the tap, and it was cool for like 4 hours.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, that's what I'm drinking my cocoa out of right now is my Fraternize mug.
Yeah, I really like them.
But we've got these right now ready and willing to be sent. We just need you to let us know if it's a shirt, what size your shirt is, and then what koozie, how many you want, so that way I can keep telling Reese we don't have any. Or, sorry, Pinewood.
Terrible. All right. So terrible. Now, is that all we got right now to offer?
We have a couple of pop sockets left, and if you're not aware of what those are, because I certainly wasn't.
I was not either.
But it's a little thing that you stick on the back of your phone, and it kind of pops out so you can hold it, and it's actually pretty convenient. But the pop socket itself has our QR code on it, so whenever you're walking around listening to it and laughing, people say, "What are you laughing at?" You can say, "You got to check this guy's out," and then show them the QR code. I've scanned all of them. They all work. So just another way for you to get our name out there.
That's great. So the questions I would like to hear answered from you guys is the first one being, what kind of merch do you typically buy? If you have a band or a podcast or whatever that you follow, what's some of the stuff that you typically buy? And then also, I don't want to just pump out a bunch of stuff that nobody's going to use. I'm very much function over form. And so what are some things that you would actually use? And so if we could get some Fraternize with These Guys, I don't know, garden rakes, that'd be great. Because, man, I use a rake like a whole bunch.
I was thinking like a challenge coin.
Dude, challenge coins would be where it's at. Let's go ahead and definitely do that.
Okay, for sure. I'll get those made up.
All right. Are you going to pour the silver and everything? Are they going to be made out of silver? Because that'd be awesome.
I was planning on doing them out of at least a little bit of gold that I've personally mined.
Nice. Up in the Colorados?
No, up in the Klondike.
Okay.
I got some of that Yukon gold there. There's gold in there, yield.
That's pretty good, man. I like that.
Yeah, we'll do some of them in gold. I mean, I might, just depends. If I get my hands on some blood diamonds, I might craft one out of a blood diamond. I think I got a couple of those left over.
Okay. All right. Did you
Cash most of them into Dogecoin.
well,
But,
dude, if you would have done that about a month ago, you'd be sitting on some change.
yeah,
So
I know.
Yep, good stuff. Well, that's about all we got. So 4 questions. We kind of cheated you one. We only have 3 questions.
I mean, we could do social media. Other than the big, like Facebook and Instagram, and maybe even Discord. I don't even think Discord's much anymore, but we're trying to bring it back.
I like the platform a whole bunch. I've really enjoyed using it.
Yeah, and I get a lot of the stuff, everything that we post up on the website, I have been filtering over into the Discord to try and keep them pretty close to in line. So we've got a bunch of the OGs in the Discord channel that ask questions a lot. So I mean, we're getting some traction over there, which is fun. But what other social media platforms are out there that people are using other than the big ones?
Yeah, and
where's the gold sitting in them hills?
And should we develop and make a Facebook group,
our own platform?
Well, maybe for sure in the future. We're going to definitely need the Patreon to kick up before we can invest the money to make our own platform.
We're going to need about $14 million and somebody that knows how to do it.
I know for a fact some of y'all out there, y'all got that lying around. You can just write us a check like right now.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
Just make it up to cash.
We'll even give you a shout out on the next episode, but just one episode. Let's don't get carried away.
Don't get greedy. Just use that 14 mil and don't get greedy.
All right. So question 1, all about Patreon. What should we do?
Yes.
What would make it worthwhile? Question 2, in addition to beer, what would you like to hear on our libations segment? Question number 3, merch. What do you normally buy, and what is something that you might use that we could do? And then question 4, what are some other social media outlets that we should maybe focus our attention on? And I was thinking maybe we just pick 1 or 2 or 3 and really focus on those and kind of let the other ones just, go by the wayside, because you can get so bogged down into updating all your social media pages that you've spent 3 hours just posting, and it gets really mundane and obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. Because I'm the one that has to do all the posting.
So far. Now, is there anything else that you can think of?
Man, not really. I think those are some pretty good questions that we can get some feedback from. Again, you can send those in an email format, and our email address is theseguysquestions@gmail.com. If you want to send it in a voicemail, keep it under 2 minutes, or just send multiple. That's fine. If you go to the website, it's fwtgpodcast.com. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a blue circle with a microphone sitting in there. Click on that guy, and you can leave your voice message, and we will get that.
Yep.
On Facebook and Instagram, we can be found at FWTG Podcast, or just type in Fraternize with These Guys, and we should pull up. On listening, I mean, we're on dang near every platform that's decent that I'm aware of and that our website will allow us to tag. Apple Podcast, Google, Spotify. We got picked up by Pandora about 2 months ago now.
Yeah,
2 or 3 months ago.
Very exciting.
iHeartRadio, Deezer, Stitcher. I mean, we're on almost everything that most people listen to it on. But if there's something that we do not have listed, let us know, and I'll get all of our stuff plugged in over there. I mean, and you can also listen to it on the website.
Yes, sir. And also, just to let everybody know, we're coming in probably by the time this episode airs, we'll have almost 1,000 downloads, which is, pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. It is. We are getting really close to 1,000, and I was thinking about doing something just outrageous for 1,000.
Okay.
And maybe maybe we push it for 1,000 Facebook followers, and then I'll record it, kind of like we did when we hit the, I don't know, was it 200 or whatever when I waxed myself?
I think it was the first 100.
It may have been. I don't remember. All my hair has grown back in, so
We're gonna have to
I was thinking about once we hit, let's say 1,000 Facebook likes or follows, then I think I'm gonna get #Plumterable tattooed.
Wow, bro, that's taking one for the team there,
bro. And if I know some of our OGs and even some of our new listeners that are, because I've actually got an email earlier from somebody that just started listening to it, and they said, "Man, I have been cracking out on this. Y'all are hilarious." So I know that person is going to be gung ho, and I think she's probably going to be letting everybody know, "Hey, you got to listen to this. Listen to this. He's going to tattoo."
That's hilarious. You know, in the Bible it says that getting tattoos is sin, so maybe you should rethink that.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that it says in the
Bible. That's a fair point. That's something we should dive into at some point.
I may or may not have just kind of speed read through that section.
Yeah, well, you know.
And I don't know how to speed read.
If you're going to...
And there wasn't any pictures. So kind of lost my attention.
If you're going to speed read through any parts of the Bible, probably Leviticus, that's probably one of those books you need to just go ahead and just jump on through. There's not a lot that pertains to us today.
I started at the very beginning in Genesis 1:1, and I blacked out. And then I got to Revelation 59 or something.
Doesn't go that high.
And, oh, well.
Just say Revelation.
It was an appendix. I was in an appendix.
Wow, you got to the glossary.
Yeah, and then my attention really got grabbed because I saw some maps. They had old-timey maps in the Bible.
Man, so you got way through it.
I don't remember anything from beginning to end, but I do remember those maps being there.
Hey, they're there. They're there. All right. Well, that's the challenge. Answer those 4 questions. Send us your stuff. The challenge is all about you guys this week. We're sorry if it's a little short and also probably a little bit on the boring side, but it's something that we needed to do. And because we're not together in person, it kind of limits us on what we can do. But let's get out of here and let's do a little bit of updates, and then we'll go right into our Ponder This. That sound good to you?
Sounds good. We got some news updates for you today.
What kind of news updates do we have?
We don't.
Oh, no updates.
Dims was jokes. I just wanted you to play that.
Well, actually, we do have some updates, but we're going to save them for next week's full episode. And I'll just go ahead and say this. Next week's episode, because this one's kind of a dud, that we need some input from you guys. We're asking a lot of you. Next week, we'll put in a little bit of extra time and do some bonus segments on next week's episode. We got some stuff that we're going to roll out, and if Beezy's okay with it, I think we'll just do it on next week's episode.
I'm always down, brother.
What you got for us? We need to thank some folks.
We do. So I want to thank, I think we want to thank Aaron and Adele. They've helped us craft this merch that we've got for you guys. They have been a lot of help, and we really just want to let you guys know that we appreciate that. We also want to thank Gwen with Prairie Blossom Marketplace. She's helped out quite a bit, and she's actually going to give us a little corner that we can stick some merch in there.
Do you think that she would allow us to put some of my worm poo in that corner?
Probably.
Okay.
Just knowing her, she would probably allow it.
That's sweet. I'm going to do it.
And actually, depending on how good it is, I know they have I think there's another vendor out there called Cactus Creek. I believe it's hers. And they do, what are those? Succulents. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would fit in over there, I believe.
Done.
But we want to send a big shout out to Franz with the Cocoa Cocktails, which he has so graciously provided for me.
Yep.
And you'll get a little, if I haven't drank all of it by the time you get here to record next week's episode, I'll let you have one.
Definitely.
But I'm only going to save you the pomegranate berry.
Oh, come on, bro. You got to save me the other one.
Because it's the rightful heir. You can check those guys out. It's Cocoa Cocktails, at Cocoa Cocktails on Facebook. And let him know that we sent you there, man. He would greatly appreciate that. And then, let's see. I mean, he first sponsor?
I hope so.
Possibly them. And again, we've said it already, and we say it all the time, but we want to thank the OG listeners. We are pushing 1,000 downloads.
Woohoo!
I mean, we would not be here without you guys. Not just to single out the OGs, but even the new listeners, man. Just come check us out. You'll enjoy it. Probably start with a different episode, but
yes, please.
We definitely want your input.
Yep.
And as a final thank you, we of course we have to thank our wives because they are still allowing us to do this.
Yeah, it's really surprising. I figure they would have stopped us at like 5.
Put the kibosh on it. Yeah, here we are. What? Oh, goodness gracious, this is 22.
Do-si-do.
The old do-si-do.
Yep, good stuff.
I didn't even say any do-si-do jokes.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Dang, missed opportunity.
Well, let's get.
We should put that in a newspaper, kind of like those missed connections.
Yeah, we could totally do that. Let's get out of here with a ponder this.
Ponder this. Spiders are the only web designers who like finding bugs.
I like that one. That was good.
Just a minute there.
Yeah. All right, my friend. We'll see you live and in person a week from today.
Yes. Love it. Looking forward to it, brother. Love you guys.
God bless you guys. See you next time. So I'll tell you a drink that I definitely think that we should try, and we could put it in libations, is fermented mare's milk.
Do what?
Yeah, fermented mare's milk. It's like a Russian drink or something.
Can you even get that?
I mean,
like in the States?
I mean, I know some folks that got horses.
I know the fella with the mare.
we could get it done.
I'll give it a shot.
All right, I'm gonna let you harvest. I'm gonna let you harvest the milk, though.
Is it? And it's mares, not studs.
Well, that would be a whole different drink.
A little thick.